um, women's bodybuilding world champion Rising Phoenix. But have this. We have here a comment from DJ says, "Oh, I'm aware that it's about the total package. Just one body part. I'm just saying, Susan abdominals are otherworldly. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we have here from a man. David says, "I should say Susan win at Masters." Oh, well, she didn't. So let it go, brother. It's over. It's got past. Also, we got here for Josh Simpkins says, "I can't wait for the Olympia, especially women's bodybuilding. It's gonna be awesome." Yeah, I can't wait for it
But yeah,
either.
I really need to buy my tickets first. I can understand the VIP's packages are extremely expensive, but I can definitely buy an expo for Friday, get to see the prejudging. But the finals are a different story from what I've heard compared to what I've been to so far. So I got time for that.
Yeah. Like I said, if I could go, I wouldn't mind going, but I have to fly. I don't have that real ID or passport. That's the only time you can get you on a plane with TSA. Maybe I would say that may be a good 2 year plan down the road in the future, going to the Olympia. If it was coming back to Orlando, where hey, a little closer to me. I mean, I could swing it. The tickets, I know, even the nosebleed tickets are very expensive. I heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me going to Tampa, at least it made sense for me traveling wise. And believe it or not, when I heard about, the Atlanta Pro Bruno, I thought this would be a good opportunity for you to go, considering how lackluster it was. But after discovering, I got work on Saturday, looking at the traveling times and, what time these divisions will come out. It was like, I'm probably not going to make it back on time. So, at least my new
Yeah.
friend Grant did. At least we could at least tell him about it. I mean, he's the one who made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's a
remember
great thing. Which was again?
he got to meet Hunter after she won. So that I bet I taught him everything I knew. I'm like the Jedi, taught him what to do as going to a body. It was his first time going to a bodybuilding contest, and I taught him what
Well,
to do. To avoid the mistakes. So he wouldn't get in trouble. And he had a good time. He said. I mean, he's glad he got to meet Hunter. So he did really well
well,
on his first try.
that's really cool because I know. I believe I got tagged in that picture because he sent it, and I'm gonna pull it up here in a minute. And you look like he had a good time. Where is it? I think it might be. I know some. I think he tagged me. And, it was. I think it was in Hunter's uh you know story, but I think he has it on his IG. Gonna put up Grant's IG, and here it is. And we also got some videos from it because he was there, and that's what we need. We need people with the boots on the ground, supporting women's bodybuilding, and just being there for opportunities. Oh, we got some comments here. Um, I think this is from my man DJ says David is a big fan supporting Susan. Shout out to him for sticking up for his girl. Also, he says this is from my man Josh says Susan wow factor. Matheson has a great physique. She does. Also, here we got here from DJ says Hunter Henson. Do you think she'll crack high at the Olympia or maybe the middle of the pack?
We don't know. We
Depending,
just have to. We have to see. How compared to everyone else's physiques and conditions. Compared to their experience. You know,
yeah, and still got at least about counting at least a few more shows that's coming up. You have the end of this month. You have the Lena Popa Classic.
yeah,
Then
I'll
next
definitely
month,
live stream that. I think. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely won't be there in person. So I'll definitely live stream that.
yeah, right now I'm a little still tight on dollars, so I can't be doing too much live streaming. But you also have the Grand Prix that's coming up the 20th. In a couple weeks, you have the Rising Phoenix,
Which
and
I think
then
might be a good opportunity for me to go. I think there's this nice hotel deal that I heard about that they won't charge you until you come in person.
yeah, that's how I did with my hotel. They did charge me till I got there, because I was gonna stay for that Saturday and leave that Sunday. But then because the train tracks was closed that Sunday back, I had to leave that Saturday and then take then had to wait to my train for another 6 hours, and then I got back home by Sunday afternoon. Here we got a comment here. Shout out to my man David. He's sticking in. He says, "I'm like Isaac Hayes. Don't let go. Ah, shucks. I won't stop for $1 million. Just kidding."
Oh,
I
Chef from
w-
South Park. Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, that man was a legend. I'm poor. Can't believe he left us. Can't. You should really see the story, the real story, why he left South Park to begin with. It's not for the reason state everyone else thought it was.
Well, I think it was like something to talk about the whole thing with his being Scientologist, stuff like that, whatever. But but then it just those things happen like that way. Also, we have here from man DJ says, "I believe Ashley's Riley is doing the Alina Classic. Can't wait to see her again." Well, I think she says she's going to do a show in Germany, but she might do the Alina Classic. You know, because I know she was doing an interview with the Female Vitamin Channel about a couple weeks ago, right after I think Chicago, and she said you asked her what she's gonna do, either Tampa or Atlanta, because I saw her. She was at Atlanta because she was there for I think one of the clowns was competing at the show, and she was in pretty good shape, and we got to think about it, it was just barely a month from she did Chicago, and I think she could have done Atlanta, because like again, there's some ladies that I would say should have done that show that did Tampa. There was just barely a week between each shows where you could have just if it didn't cost you that much and you were in the area at the time, you could have jumped on. Here, shout out to my man DJ. Says honestly, at Tampa, and she's right, should have placed second because she was better conditioned in shape. Well, she's pretty good shape in Chicago. She should have placed a little higher in Chicago, in my opinion, compared
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Christina
I guess,
Mendoza.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think Christina Mendoza. I think just gave to her because of her posing, and she's attractive, but her conditioning wasn't spot on compared to most definitely compared to Anastasia, my dear friend Miss Tina S. Williams. She was there. So we're gonna pull up this little picture here. We got this from shout out to Kenyon Grant. This is from his
yeah. That's it. That's
IG.
the guy I was talking about. His first time going to a women's bodybuilding contest, just in time for the finals, and got to meet the champ afterwards.
Yeah, that's cool because he follows me on my social media platforms. Congratulations, young man. If you want to come on and talk about your experience, you're always welcome. He also, I think, he took some video at the show. So here it is. I think this is, this is Hunter's routine. He zooms in a little bit. I gotta be careful about the music. You know how it is with, but it
Yeah,
shouldn't be too
this is
bad because
definitely. Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta say, Hunter really has improved this year. This, compared to where she was in the last year's Olympia, this is a big step forward after racing runner up in Tampa.
yeah, I mean, she looks really good. I mean, I did get to watch the show because, like I said again, I usually like to watch a pay per view, but like now I gotta be careful with my dollars. It's the end of the month for me, and she looked very impressive. I was one thing I was kind of really disappointed of the showing of women in this show. There's only technically 4 women altogether.
That's what I was upset about, and I mean, I was really felt like, and this is named after Linda Murray for Pete's sake. That's kind of an insult. Like I couldn't believe they went this slow this year. And you know
Well,
what?
here,
I even looked up. There was, I think they did like a video compilation of this year's contest, and not once I saw any glimpse of women's bodybuilders. Just the other divisions, like they acted like it never existed. How
yeah.
how cruel is that? I
Well, that's how it is sometimes. I've seen stuff where they post where we know there's women bodybuilding there, like even the masters. They even post any pictures or clips of women from the bodybuilding division. Not even the women from the physique division. They'll push either bikini, wellness, maybe figure and men's classic and men's open division. Because as I said often, the men's open division is the bottom bitch. It's the one that brings the money and attention. And here she is as she announced her win.
We should do that. Hang on just a second with that. Hang on, you stay there. This is some serious bodybuilding. And now, folks, I want to give a round of applause for these bodybuilding ladies. DJ, we need music. Pause now. That's it. Let me hear this.
Okay, to be honest, this is how I think he filmed it better than what the live stream did. The camera was in a locked position, and I didn't see much of it during the
Yeah,
post down. Like it was slow down, and I couldn't make out much.
yeah. Like I said, you only have 3 days, so have final pose down. To me, I think women's bodybuilding do a better final pose down than women's physique.
Yeah, I like when they go all out, but you know what? I think it's the only time where they ever do the most muscular pose. Like that's kind of rare to do in these contests nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Hunter definitely had the better condition. Patty was close. I definitely saw. I was really looking at the pictures I took. I really, you know, I definitely compared their physiques, and I see where they were coming from.
Yeah. Patty looked pretty good. She really put on some size conditions since the last guy competed Atlanta. That was last year. Um, Shout out to Holly Jordan for jumping in here because she did. This was her. She made her pro debut at Tupelo last week. That week before the Atlanta, and then she
Yeah,
does
but
this
really, I
show.
barely knew about that contest.
Yeah.
Like they barely didn't post any much videos. All I know about is that Chris Goy, my friend Chris Goy actually won, which is she's been so far been a good year for her this compared to what she did last year. This is a big step up for her.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Chris Goy's been around for quite a long time. One thing she didn't do as well as Chicago. She did win the women's masters qualification for this year's master debut, but I think said there was issue with visa, something she didn't go. I don't know, maybe they may let her use that for 2027 or not, but because it was within that time limit where at least about 3 weeks from the Masters Olympia, they probably would say, "Hey, you can't use it because it's already too late." She now I think with this now she has it won it again. I think also there was which I talked to is Erin Hawkins, and she won a women's 50 plus. Maybe I will be talking to her, maybe get on for an interview. This is from shout out to again to our man here. Um, Shout out to DJ. He says, honestly, at Tampa, Anthony rather should have played second because he had
I
better
think he read
conditions.
that already. I think
Oh
he
yeah,
posted that
yeah,
already.
yeah. Sorry, if you see. And this said, I like Blanca Rodriguez. I can't believe how improved she
Yeah,
was at
yeah. Well,
Texas.
I met her before. Yeah, she's very sweet. She's very friendly too. Yeah, I'm glad she improved as well.
Yeah, I did an interview with her a while back. She has she really has put on some size and conditioning. And then one year she was doing figure, then she went back to women's physique. Uh, Next up we have here, this is from DJ says, I meant to say Chicago, pro, not Tampa. My bad. I know you did, brother. And also he says, just for Josh says, Hunter did a great job, well deserved. All
I would
right.
agree. Yeah.
Also, this is from DJ says, it's fucked up, Alex. Women's bodybuilding deserves better. I will say that this.
First, dude, watch your language. I don't swear at all. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I know, but I'm grown. I'll be choice in my words, but I'm going to curse a little bit now and then because I'm grown. But here's the thing: is I wouldn't base so much women's bodybuilding on they're the ones they know these shows are coming up, and they know that they have to be ready. This is about being competitive, about being in action, being in shape. Like I said, I did a live stream on my IG last week where I kind of disappointed by the short, but I couldn't put it on the promoter's fault because I said for now I'm not going to. If I hear a promoter drop anybody from a show, I'm not going to be outraged by their action because I understand why they did it because that's what happened with women's physique at the St. Louis Pro last year when there was only 5 competitors. Five's pretty good, but usually with women's physique you have like 10 or more, and the promoter dropped it. But that's the thing is that it's about the numbers and the paying for the fees. Like they have to pay a sanction fee for y'all to compete. If you don't have the numbers there, then they're not good. But here's the thing: is there was another show which was maybe just a little bit of just a few weeks later was the Pittsburgh Pro. It only had 3 women, and I interviewed Natalie Wolf, who won that show. And the thing is, it's about money. And Jim Mannion, he has deep pockets. He can, hey, if there's only three female physique competitors, And this year he added men's bodybuilding to the Pittsburgh Pro. He has the means and the ways to do it. I think Jack Tone may not have that deeper pockets, and that's why he felt like he had to switch women's physique with women's with wellness. Um, Shout out here to a man. David says, Eli. Sorry. Elaine Elvis is amazing too. Killer look at the Chicago and Tampa, as Daniel Dr. said. I'm hot for teacher. Oh, David Lee Roth. Yeah. She's a great lady. I appreciate her.
Yeah,
The
I met
interview
her
we
once.
did.
Yeah, I met her last year. Yeah, she's pretty nice too. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we got here. This is from a man, DJT. Alex says, "My bad, Alex. I censor myself next time." Yeah. Yeah. Be careful your choice of words. But it was the Atlanta Pro. Even though Patty Hansen, she won women's 40 plus, which now qualified for 24/7. And I hope she does another show after this because her shape, how she come in conditioning is, I think she can possibly, depending on the show, get her Olympic qualification.
We're talking about Patty, right? Which
Hmm.
one? Patty, Holly, or Michelle?
Patty.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
Patty
she did
Hansen.
win. Yeah, I mean, she managed to win. Yeah, she at least she did manage to win the Masters during that contest. That was good for her. That was a plus for her.
Yeah, it was like I said. She really, I think, for she took a step back for. I think I remember was it back in 2021 when she competed at Chicago Pro, and that was a year when she knew that she died on stage because she was like, dehydrated. I people told me said they were telling her she need to get
Yeah,
off
I
the
forgot that
stage.
happened. I forgot that happens sometimes when.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
and
when you'd be. I remember seeing videos of ladies competitors passing out on stage. I realized, oh yeah, that can happen sometimes.
yeah, because your body's pretty much it's low on fluids, and she was sweating and looked like she was just holding herself up. They brought some water on there, but you know, I was like this: water's not enough. You should tell this woman, hey, get down. And one thing I talk about this is that at these shows, just like how most other sports events have, you should have a doctor, emergency crew, just in case because these people are risking their health and their lives. You never know when somebody will just have a moment and collapse and fall and get sick or whatever, and there's no one there who's like you might I know some ladies who probably are nurses who could be as bodybuilders, maybe they're trying to do something, but then you don't have the proper equipment. Like you might need something like an IV, you might need something like a defibrillator. I mean, stuff that is important when dealing with somebody who has some kind of medical issue backstage these shows.
Yeah, I met during the Masters. I did remember this one lady bodybuilder who had something next to her stomach. I never saw anything like that in my life. Did she went through some surgery or something, and is she okay?
Well, that's
I mean,
Cheryl Mears. Cheryl, she's
yeah,
been
did
competing with
something
questions. Yeah.
happen to her that some time ago?
Well, it was issue with that's colostomy bag, and she had something issue with her colon. I think dealing with some kind of cancer, and she competed also at the Masters Olympia that
But that's
last
what I was going to
weekend.
say. This was my this was my introduction. I'm trying to keep up. This was my introduction to her. I never saw anything like this. Hope she's doing hope she's doing well right now.
Well, I've been talking with her on social media for quite some time. I'm hoping to get it on because this coming Sunday, I'm planning on doing talk to some ladies who did the Masters Olympia and have them come on, give their reviews and talk about what they think of the show. I think you know she's a impressive lady. This is her. This was her at the Masters Olympia, and she looked great. She was women's physique for a good while, but went with women's bodybuilding a couple years ago, and I think she placed in the top 10 and she looks amazing. I mean, her
I can
she
see.
actually
I can see. She looks very. I think she's very brave. I'm glad she did make it. She went against the odds and did what she could, and I'm glad she did. I'm very happy to see what she did. Hope she
yeah
does well for the future. Although
yeah
yeah, I always like to add, yeah, I know some of the other competitors didn't make it, like Patty Corbett, who I recently became friends with. She told me she had a cold during her trip. She didn't make it through the top 10, but she wasn't too discouraged. She did what she could do as well. So At least she's stays optimistic.
Yeah, I think someone else was missing from the lineup. I think it was Virginia Sanchez. I
Oh
think
yeah, I heard.
the
Yeah, yeah, I know who. Yeah, I heard about her. Yeah, yeah, she's. I think she has a good. I think she has a good work on her. She looks hardcore. I'll say, best way to describe her.
well, I've been following Virginia for a long time. She's been in the game for years. Kind of
Yeah.
disappointed that I think she
Oh, that's
might
my
be.
friend right. That's my new friend right there. She's really nice. I
Yeah, that's Chris Coy. That's when she was at the Tampa. I saw her walking around, and I think I'd say hello to her for it. But amazing
Yeah,
lady, great physique.
we actually first met back at the Olympia Expo back in Orlando. And we took a picture together, and then I did remember seeing her compete last year, but I was trying to say hi to her, but she acted like she didn't remember me. But then this year, when I met someone who, and she actually starts to, oh, you're now I remember you, and yeah, she and I are starting to become friends, becoming acquainted with each other. I'm actually glad to see her.
Yeah, and she's from Spain, just like Virginia, but she lives in Miami, I believe. I know a while back Virginia was supposed to have been invited to the Rising Phoenix, but then she had to take a step back and say she was moving. So I was kind of disappointed not to see her at this show. I think she's an amazing physique, amazing lady, but I understand that maybe she might be phasing out of the sport because the cost of travel, everything else involved in it. Now she's
Virginia,
moving
we're
on
talking
to
about
do other
Virginia.
things.
Virginia, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're talking about Virginia. Yeah, she's probably once you hear about it eventually once these ladies finally say, you know what, I'm done. He says, we also get here. Um, shout out to my man Josh. He says, I remember Patty almost passed out. That was a scary moment. Yeah, it was. Also, shout out to my man DJ. He says, Patty Hansen is a stunning woman for a lady. Her age and her beauty is ageless. Yeah. Also, shout out to my man. The shout out to my man David. He says, uh, I want to know Balls Deep's opinion. Well, he was here, but he disappeared. I don't know what's going on with Balls Deep. And also, he says this. He says,
Sorry, my
Cheryl
phone
is.
had one of those Amber alerts. Sorry.
That's all right. And he says, Cheryl is very inspirational.
Can you hear
We
me?
have here a guest just pop into the scene. This is my man,
Hey, what's
aka
going on, guys?
yeah,
Hello.
KL the Wanderer. He's
Nice to
came in
meet
the
you.
scene. So
Yeah, we met before.
Oh yeah. So I'm so sorry.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get a little side. Sorry, I get a little too busy. I'm sorry. It's hard to keep up sometimes. There's a lot going on right now, but I'm doing the best what I can.
Well, like I
Yeah,
said, that's all you got to do, son. Just do the best you can. But anyway,
I can't hear. Can you hear George? I can't hear him. I can hear you, but I can't hear George.
well, you sure you can't hear me? What's going on? Is it? Can you hear me, KL?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear
Well,
both of you.
okay, it might be
Oh,
something with the ambulance. Might just try to get your phone back in right. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
just sorry. My phone just got alerted, and all of a sudden my camera cut off. I was trying to get back on.
yeah. But anyway, we can go back into the physique division. As you know, that's as usual, stack lineup, pretty much all together about 15, 16 ladies at the show. And very impressive ladies. The winner of the division is Megan Saint Barbara. And I remember where I got to see her was at the Tampa, where she took second to, you know, um, Salma Binta, and impressive lady. Me and David talked to her because David got a picture of her, and she says she's going to do Atlanta, but then I saw her on the list for Texas, but then when he updated the list, she was out. So, and then I think this
I
probably was a
saw
good
that.
move for her. Yeah, I think maybe it was a good move for her to get out of that show because, as you know, um, Brittany, Herrera won the show, and she's very impressive. I mean, she lives in my next door neighbor, South Carolina. She's from Bensonville. I heard of it before. I try to
Interesting.
remember it. Yeah, Bensonville. And this is her debut as Women's Physique because she debuted at Tampa and she took second to Zama. And in the lineup, top five, we have finished at second. We have Brittany Watts or Brittany Herrera, better known her. Also, third lady who I've had on my channel before, also Tiffany Walker. Fourth, Heather Wright, and then also at the top five is one Miss Jennifer Hosteller. She was out here on one of my podcasts a while back, and Jennifer, she's been competing as a pro. This is her second year as a pro, and here is as the ladies are getting rewarded. And this is Megan's husband and I believe a coach in the front. They're cheering, and this is a little video. It's very impressive. This was her second pro show in WPD, and then winning a show like the Linda Popa show. Yeah. And then here she is with the legendary Linda Murray. I mean, the female body challenge saying that she could possibly go over to women's bodybuilding. What y'all think?
I don't know. Whatever works for her is fine. That's fine. Whatever works for her is. I don't honestly don't know. Whatever she does, it's her. It's her decision, not ours.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's about the process of growing as an athlete. I know the female body challenge. Shout out to them. They always are a fan of these ladies. And again, she's very impressive. I mean, I saw her at Tampa. Been about almost 3 weeks ago. I mean, she was really close head to head with Zama, which is Zama is just her body, her physique is just out of worldly. I mean, I didn't get to see her up close and personal like some people did, but just seeing her from stage and on her social media platforms, she's just crazy, especially her shoulders.
Yeah, her winning was an unexpected surprise. She went up against the winner of the Texas Pro, and she out beards. I'm surprised she's making it to Olympia. Good for her.
Well, like I said, I think the judges saw something in her that they probably wanted to push her opportunity to get to the Olympia. It's always like again, it's always you can do good in one show, but then turn around and maybe do better in another. And also, as I said earlier, Tiffany Walker, who I had on my channel before as an interview, is she won Masters qualification for the Masters Olympia. Shout out to Tiffany. And I think really, I was watching some stuff that the female body shop, they're very impressed by her physique. I mean, some say even comparing her to like early Linda Murray.
Hmm.
Yeah, she do look like her in that picture.
Yeah, just look
Yeah,
at the
I can
back.
see a bit. I can see that. I can definitely see that resemblance somewhere.
Yeah, I know she's full military, so and she's a mother of
Oh,
two
wow. Oh,
kids.
another build. Oh, I salute her.
Yeah, yeah. I say, well, I don't say thank you for your service. I say I appreciate the sacrifice she's made as a citizen of this country. And impressively, she just turned her birthday was like I think last month, and I posted a video for her. She liked it and I
Was it,
tagged her in it.
yeah, a few
Yeah,
birthdays have happened this week. Lena Becca had her birthday, and then recently Rachel Daniels got her birthday.
yeah, yeah. I posted something. I even posted as she said thank you, Rachel. I got to see her while I was at Tampa because she's
Yeah,
a coach
yeah, I met her
for.
and Keisha. They were, yeah, she was pretty nice too. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's is right here, Tiffany, and she's realized she's now is qualified for 2027 Olympia. Second is a lady who has also been on my channel, Jennifer Hofstadter, and third is another lady who's been on the channel, Alex Bleckenship. And Alex very impressive. I mean, she beat out a couple of ladies, especially one lady right here. And also have my channel, the lovely Mrs. Daphne Holmes. And that's pretty impressive. If you can beat out someone like Daphne, who has great shape, great conditioning, killer arms, and crack into the top five. Also, right here, taking fourth is Kimberly Kim G, who I got to talk to. She's a really cool lady. And I believe the other lady is Patricia, who took, I think she was fifth. But like I said, these are good lineup of ladies. I mean, very impressive.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. And she did pretty good for herself. I mean, cracking the top three at the Atlanta Pro. I don't know. If while the Iron is hot, it's so close. It's just the only show she's done. It's not too many shows left unless she's gonna go to end of the month. Go to the I would say would be worth it because you're just gonna get another Masters Olympic qualification if you go to the World Master Championship, or next month go all the way to Arizona and do the Rising Phoenix. But like I said, impressive lady. I mean, I'll give a shout out. Uh, Also here, another lady, as I said again, Daphne Holmes, who I got to meet while I was at Tampa.
Yeah, I met her before
She
too. Yeah, she's very nice too. Yeah, she was. I don't think she competed last year, but she. Yeah, I think she was helping out at the contest as far as I can remember during my first visit to Tampa. Yeah, she.
yeah, yeah, her and her husband, that's her husband Keith. He competed there at Tampa that weekend.
Oh,
They've been
oh,
together quite some
cool.
time. Yeah. Been having my channel quite a few times in the past. She's an amazing lady. Here, her and both, Tiffany together. I mean, just different levels of muscle and different levels of women. Backgrounds are very amazing.
Now, to be honest,
Um,
she kind of almost reminds me of someone. I'll be honest. I thought she looked like Monique Jones. Remember her?
mm, I don't really see it too much. I would say someone else if I can think about it, but Monique, you know,
I'm
I
sorry,
see
they
it
kind of
probably.
look they almost look facially similar, but I just it was kind of it was my but I got to know I think she does it was just probably me. It was a probably mistake, but yeah, she is really nice, Daphne. I'm glad you
Yeah,
got to meet her.
yeah. I mean, she has come a long way. She's a nurse, a mother. I've interviewed her about a few years back, and she's been on my podcast a few more times since then. But it's your congratulations to her. I mean, she did the Ultima a few months before that, and then she did Chicago. And I think she might be calling it a wraps after this because placing six in the Masters qualification. Where, but again, Alex is very impressive, especially for a height 4'8", and still was able to crack the top 10 in the Open and take fourth place in Masters 40 plus.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we got here from a man. Shout out to the man. Davey says, Meg is phenomenal. Was hoping to get interview with her, but she said she doesn't do podcasts. No biggie. No, don't worry about it.
Yeah, to
Like I
be
say, yeah.
honest, I think Dr. Meg is a difficult person to talk to, in my opinion. Something I should have known sooner, and I'm gonna be honest. I asked for her autograph, but she said no, and I looked it up, and I was like, did I do something wrong? And it turns out, well, doctors aren't supposed to sign autographs that, even though they're supposed to be harmless, there might be a chance that their career might get in trouble. And I was like, I didn't know that, and I kind of felt guilty about it. I hope she's not mad at me after this.
No, no. Here's the thing: is I if you there's something wrong, and if no hard feelings, then don't worry about it. I learned in the past sometimes doesn't let things bother you.
And it's just
If
I
that
kind of wonder about. I know whoever gets qualified for the Olympia, there's going to be a meet and greet area where they have to show where they're going to do a set up a booth and tables with their pictures on it. And how's Meg going to handle this? Despite not asking for autographs and such. I mean, how's she's going to handle that?
I don't know. That's maybe, like I said again, it's up to what she's going to do, what she has planned. Because you're going to the Olympia, you're going to be at these booths. I remember I was talking with Yvonne Pennington. One thing she wished that she had more stuff and stock and stuff because that was her first time at the Olympia. This is a big event. This is one of the biggest events in the sport of bodybuilding, and you're going to be one of the superstars competing at this show. You need to be prepared. Like some ladies would get little things like cookies, little trinkets, stuff like that. They have to sign autographs, stuff like that.
Funny
Because
that you mentioned cookies. I heard Holly. What's her last name again? What's Howie's last name again? Holly.
Holly Jordan.
Yeah, I heard she's a baker, and I actually am pretty interested. I actually want to try out some of her brownies. I do have a sweet tooth. Honestly, I like to try them.
Oh, that was sweet too. Here we got here from a man. Shout out to man David says Heather Wright surprised everyone. She was so puny and had purty, and has a great physique. Yeah, I mean, very impressive because I was surprised. I think she did Tupelo, Texas was her pro debut. She was figure, but then she switched to women's physique, and she made her debut, I believe, at Tupelo, Texas. I'll pull up here, and she was able to crack the top. 4 at the show. I think I believe Jennifer got her tagged here. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. Cause see, Joe and Jennifer, she said everybody here. Let me see. Eh, no, I thought she had a tag. No, I might be wrong. But coming in here, making your debut and doing your second show and getting the top 4, especially up against some competitors that or who usually might be in the top 5. Um, we put up here Heather and see Heather, right? She started following me on IG, and here she is. And she's a mom, uh, impressive. She did her debut at Tupelo. It's a side by side. I mean, good definition in the back, good conditioning. Just as they want a little more size because she's still a little bit undersized compared to the other competitors. You know, it's just like I said, it's a process. Maybe she take a year off, and maybe might see her back in 2027.
Hmm. Yeah, it happened. It happens. So, yeah, give them time.
Yeah, yeah. But I think she fits the criteria. What is the set criteria for physique? She has good development in the lats, good development on the shoulders. I mean, condition's really good. Just need to come a little tighter. I mean, some women, also you have to bring in your back and your glutes. That's what you look at. You want to look at the tie-ins right here in between the lower half of the glutes and the upper part of the quads. It's something, as you know, with the judges, they are particular about what they look at athletes. You just can't look at, like I say, oh, she had to be nice to hit her ass, but it's not enough. You have to be,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. We just talked about something like that. Yeah.
yeah. But like I said, she, did pretty good. This was her at Tupelo, and and very impressive. I mean, still need time. Like again, she could take next year off and really just grow a bit. Also, a lady who I've been on my channel, she also did pretty good, and this was her second year as pro, and that's Jessica Hofstetter. I mean, my dear friend, uh, you know, Marianne Wachowski, introduced because I saw some pictures of her. I said, "Who's this chick? She got a great body. She was a figure competitor, and she took second at the in the masters class, 40 plus, and then she was top 5 in the open.
Mm.
Yeah, impressive. She's a mother. She has like 3 or 4 kids. A couple of kids are grown. I mean, her husband was there. He was supporting her. He did some little video stuff here. Here's this one here when she's in their bedroom. Here's this. She did a little flexing. She's really. I think again, she's really come a long way. She was figure where she got her pro card, and now she's doing physique. She made a pro debut last year. She did New York Pro, and then she did the Atlantic Coast show. And this is the second show. This is her first show for this year. So possibly, depending, there's only, like I said, one more show, especially in the States, that's left for Olympic qualification. That is the Triple O. Also, she lives in Pittsburgh. She could do the World Championships Masters, and possibly qualify for 2027 Masters O. So yeah,
We do see potential. Yeah.
yeah, she's I think it's like I said, it's a process. It takes time to grow and develop as an athlete, and I think she's there. We had my man KL. He stepped out for a minute. He's back. You know. Also, we have here. Shout out to my man. Here, my man Joshua says, I was surprised that Amanda or Jess Hellborn isn't competing this year. They both have awesome physiques. Well, I think with Jess Philborn, I think she's taking some time off. Maybe to work on some things, conditioning, shape, impressive physique.
Sorry.
She does have our friend Amanda Amordova. She does figure, but I think I could see her doing physique eventually.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. But also, there's some stuff going on that I've been, kind of paying attention to. One of my things is I have a saying, beware surrounds at all time. You know, there should give it sure footing for a killing blow. That same weekend, just about it was um the Max Fit Classic, and shout out to Autumn and her Autumn PR and his wife Oksana. They competed there. I think Oksana won in 35 plus, but took second in 40, but didn't get a master's qualification. And Autumn won in his class over in excuse me, men's physique. But one lady who had competed in almost 8 years made a return, and that is Dawn Allison. Now, Miss Allison, she competed uh, quite a long time in bodybuilding,
Yeah, I
and she
remember
last
her.
competed,
Yeah,
yeah, and last competed in 2018, and she now is doing wellness.
yeah,
Uh, you know, um, I saw the pictures, because she was one of two ladies in her class, both in 40 plus and 50 plus, and she's going to be 61 in 3 months. Uh, my debate is that I don't know. I think she would be probably better in either figure or physique.
well, again, it's up to her, I think. But I am surprised to see. It's surprise. I'm actually am surprised. I've recently learned about it. I mean, I can't believe that. Yeah, I remember she was in women's bodybuilding. And now she's doing this, and I guess she really wanted. I don't know. I really, again, it's up to her. But am surprised she was able to go back on stage again after all these years. I mean, I'm actually surprised Starla from the Napoleon Dynamite is still competing, and she's
Or you
actually
mean
going to compete.
Carmen Brady?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, I was surprised. Like, wait, she's still competing? I thought she retired years ago.
Yeah, she a while back last year she competed at the North Americans, and she got her pro card. She stepped away from bodybuilding like almost 20 years ago. She's in her, I think, mid 60s, and you can't, this woman. I mean, a lot of ladies. I saw a couple ladies who stepped away from bodybuilding for quite some time, and here's Carmen Brady, and she
I mean,
came back.
she still looks great. After she actually looks great after all these years. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, you got these
I'm
ladies
see.
in
I'm
her.
actually impressed with some of these ladies still competing, no matter how old they're getting. I'm really am impressed.
Yeah, she's competing in. I think she says she's doing 40, 70 plus bodybuilding class. I can't believe she's 70. She looks like she could be almost 50, maybe if at most 60. And she been in the game for quite some time. Here's her with Ron Glass. And I think it was back in, it says 99. And that was the NBC USA in Santa Monica. That was like, ooh, can you believe it? Like 26 years ago. And that means she had to be at least in her, let's say, mid 30s at the time. So yeah, she is pushing 70. You know, and coming back after all these years. I've been following. I remember when she was in the magazines and stuff. I mean, this is
Oh, and
back in the day.
everybody who isn't unfamiliar with her career, she was Rex Quandel's wife in Napoleon Dynamite. And she didn't have much screen time in the movie, but she did the most what she was given to her. And I mean, do you remember the Napoleon Dynamite cartoon? She did not. She unfortunately did not come back to reprise her role. Jared has had to do her voice, which was a weird
Uh,
choice in my opinion.
well, you know how it is. She probably wasn't interested in doing it. In animation, is sometimes they'd rather have a more professional person do a voice for even a small character. Here she is with Pedro. There, it must be on the set of
Oh
Napoleon
yeah,
Dynamite.
no, he came back for the cartoon. I remember. Yeah, I remember watching the cartoon when it came out on there, and I honestly thought, while some of the charm from the movie was there, it felt like it kind of contradicted its continuity. Like Kip was supposed to be married to somebody, but the show acted like it never happened. So I don't know what happened behind the scenes. So
Well, sometimes sometimes animations based on a movie may not follow the guidelines. Like say like we do a movie about a certain type of action hero or a comic book, they don't stick to the original plan of the book, and they do it something different, you know.
Yeah, I
But
know a
you
lot of.
know,
I've seen a lot of shows and movies going went for this. Back to the Future went for something like that. There was, I know the Max had something like went through a different direction. I mean, I could go on for compare and contrast.
yeah, that's it. Sometimes, you know, we when we go like one of them, like I'm thinking about what was it? It was a movie I when they put out certain movies like Wild Wild West when they put out years ago. They got Will Smith to play Jim West. I
Oh
watched Wild
yeah,
Wild
that
West.
version of the show, movie based on the show. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was one of Barry Sonnenfeld's weakest movies at the time.
his mistake was that Seinfeld was using Will Smith because how he did for him in Men in Black. But the thing
Obviously,
is,
yeah.
yeah, the thing is, we should have did was, you know, who would have made it better? Jim West, without a doubt, with no question, Val Kilmer. That was just a few years after Tombstone, and he just,
Bless his soul, Val Kilmer.
yeah, I mean, you know, I think he would have made a better Jim West. I could see Jim Carrey playing Artemis Gordon
Oh, and
because
yeah, there was a. Speaking, yeah, Val Kilmer was also Bat. He was also Batman at one point in his life. And
yeah,
yes,
he
Jim Carrey was the Riddler in Forever. Man, a lot of connect. What a comparisons we're getting so far.
Yeah, it's just like I said, this how it is sometimes. You know, I think the thing is about Hollywood, they just don't really stick to, or just really, I've seen movies where, you know what, this actor would be better for this role, and that actor would be better for that role. But then they just put somebody there because they were popular or whatever. You know, they had Jessica Simpson playing Daisy Duke, and I used to watch, I'm sorry, no offense to Jessica Simpson, she ain't no Daisy Duke. You know, I could have went with somebody else who looked like more like her, you know, tall, you know, the dark hair, you know, very athletically built. I think I can go with Jessica Biel, you know, Justin Timberlake's wife. She looks more like Catherine Bach did you know, Jessica Simpson. You know, but that's just me. You know. But anyway, with this, as you know, it's gonna be kind of a quiet this week. No shows coming up. There is the coming up next couple of weeks. Actually, next week actually is the Alita Popa Classic in the Atlantic Coast. I mean, sorry, not Atlantic Coast, sorry, not Atlantic Coast. The Masters World Championship, and that's after that same weekend as the North Americans, where you know it's a pro qualifier. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of excited because I know some ladies are going to compete at that show. They already threw their hats in. I saw on her social media, Shauna Boswell might be going there. As you know, with Shauna, she was fifth at uh, the Masters Olympia. And then I also saw this. This is posted on Alina's site, and I think you know, I hope she doesn't hear things. I know she competed last year, but I don't want to win. She already got a qualification already, and that is Martina Lopez. Now she says she's. This is from a previous post. She says she's 3 weeks out. Now she should be 2 weeks out, and she's going to be doing this show. She's already qualified for the Olympia, which she won the Imperial a couple months ago.
Yeah, I've heard Martia Lopez. She actually looks pretty. She kind of looks the best way I could describe her. She looks kind of dazzling. She has some solid work on her. Has anyone ever has she ever done any reviews before with you yet, or is she?
Well, she did an interview with my man KL. You know,
Oh,
he
really?
had a few minutes with her, and also she did interviews, a couple interviews with my man Glenn of Amazon Magazine, Amazon Fitness Magazine. I find them.
What
I'll send it to you. You can look at them. But
is
also
she?
said again,
Yeah, is she
yeah.
like? What is she like? Is she like? Is she? Does she love her fans? Does she? Does she?
From what I heard, she maybe not that personable. I don't, you know, like I said, I don't know that well. You know, well, my man, he didn't have too much of a, kind of a good reaction about her.
Oh, what
Also
was that
said
too
again,
much? I'm sorry. I didn't. I was only asking. I just.
well, you asked, I didn't tell you to. But here also, Rochelle Boswell, she's supposed to be competing there. Shout to her. You know, I'm a fan of Rashana. I actually met Rashana in 2022. That was the year when she won the Puerto Rico Pro. She came down here to North Carolina. She was doing a seminar that was being sponsored by my man Glenn of Amazon Fitness Magazine. It was on 4th of July weekend. I think it was that it was on that Saturday was the second, I believe. And here's the thing is, you don't want to do any kind of thing that close to the 4th of July. But I'm like I said, a fan of hers. I remember I bought her some packages that, I was gonna send her to by mail, but then Glenn did me a favor. He mailed them off for me. Some of them she could take on the plane, the others he had to mail off for me. So I appreciate that from Glenn. And Rashana, she's been competing for quite some time. She was the 2023 master champion. I faced impressive lady, great physique. I don't know. This year should have been, even though she did this show, I think she should have took last year off because a couple of shows she came second. It was close, especially at when she last competed in Romania. It was her and versus uh Anastasia Korbaleva. I think one thing that's always been an issue with Rashana is her back. Especially in the glutes and because they don't really come as tied in as tight. I mean, she does look like she's a little soft from some of the pictures I've seen, but she always comes in great condition. Um, I mean, impressive lady, but it was really
I think she needs the money because she's also a mother, so I guess she needs the money to help pay off some I think for her family and such, or it's just my guess.
well, like I said,